Happy Monday, everyone. You are at my channel. I am Kiki, and this is the Kiki Scenes channel. And what I talk about is spirituality and different things that come up. I've gotten a few questions lately, so I want to address one of them. And it's a really popular question, especially when people are going through a spiritual awakening. And I want to also give you some information. Like if you're ever curious about my services or you would like to have a session with me, go to my website, kikiscenza.com. I'll give you some information. There's testimonials on there. I think that's under Key Experiences. And you can get more information about what I do as far as coaching, Reiki, distant healing, and that kind of stuff. So check that out, kikiscenza.com. Now moving on. So when you are seeing things like 111 or 1111 or 444 or 333, a lot of people see this and it becomes like this thing like, what's happening? Why am I always seeing it? What does it mean? Another thing that will happen is that you'll wake up every night at the same time. For me, it used to be 333. For other people, they might see 444, 555, and I have done the 444 thing quite a few times. So this is how you decipher it. Yeah, you can go online and you can look up what these numbers mean and you can see if that relates to your experience. I found that it never really helped me that much on a small level, but I had to figure out what it meant for me, meaning, okay, I'm up at 333. How do I feel right now? What am I thinking? What was the last dream that I had? And that's really how I began to decipher what these numbers meant to me, okay? So a great example is when I would get the 11 and 44, that was the most popular number that I was getting. And I would say really around a very crucial time in my spiritual awakening, meaning getting to know who I am beyond this physical realm. During that time, I kept on getting 1144, 1144. Well, what was also happening is that I kept on getting messages from people who had passed. So I started to understand that, and my family members or people or loved ones. So I was starting to understand that that was a connection for me or a number for me that meant ancestral communication. Okay, so when I started to see that number, even now, if I see that number, I know that there's a message coming to me from an ancestor. I don't need it anymore, but that was what it told me. So when you're deciphering these numbers, you need to really pay attention to what's happening when that number happens and what that means for you at that time. You have to take responsibility for your own spiritual awakening and not always be in a way like a victim to it. You have to realize you're calling this upon yourself, and certain numbers mean certain things to different people. I know one person who loves the number 22, and it doesn't mean the same thing that 22 might mean to me. Okay, and in each number combination, if you're seeing it over and over again, is going to be special for you. So I always say, don't depend on what's out there. You have to learn to depend on yourself. That's what a spiritual awakening is about. Feeling the strength and the confidence within you to know who you are, and not depending on me or someone else to tell you who you are. Okay, all right, and that is actually what I do in my work. I don't tell you who you are. I don't do all of that. I might point out something that's freaking obvious, but it's up to you to discover who you are. I give you the tools to figure that out so that you have your own awakening. Why would you want to give that to me or someone else or a stranger on the internet who wrote about numbers who you don't know? Those numbers might mean that to that person or to the 5 people that they know because they all want to agree upon it. Because that's what facts really are. Just so you know, facts are people agreeing upon this thing. And then enough people agree upon it and they say, well, okay, that's a fact. That's why we can come up with things like alternative facts, because facts are only created as well. They're human creations. So when you are trying to figure out who you are, realize that you are that creator. Okay, so take responsibility for yourself and your own spiritual awakening. But those numbers can mean different things to different people. And I hope you figure out what it means for you by checking the signs and seeing the constant feeling of what you're getting and seeing if there's something that's always repeating. All right, happy Monday, everyone. And I will see you next week.